Welcome to the podcast in which good trivia gets rewarded and lies are punished. But will we catch the lies? This is What's the Fact?
Yes, indeed. And any guesses what our theme is for today?
Halloween!
Merry Christmas, everybody. Ho, ho, ho. Yes, my name's Ryan Whittle. This is Warren Robertson on my left, on your right, if you're watching this. And welcome to the show. It is indeed Christmas time. And that's Dietz's hand, giving us a hand as usual.
Good. You know what's nice about this Christmas episode is we aren't recording it in July like everyone else. Like all the TV industry, if you've been in the TV industry, you know, everybody, like, they have their Christmas episodes and they record them in July, and then the audience has to come dressed for Christmas in
terrible.
July.
Mind you, but it works in South Africa because it's cold in July and it gives it that nice wintry feeling.
Everybody's in their jackets.
We think it's like a Northern Hemisphere Christmas. Oh, it's nice. But then we have stinking hot Christmases in South Africa, but we still cook big roasts.
Yeah, we're recording this mere days before Christmas. Are you ready?
Because us freelancers, we don't go on holiday.
No,
we work for your pleasure. No bitterness
I don't think
there.
you should use the phrase "your pleasure." Your pleasure is so creepy. I mean, anyway.
So it is Christmas. Dietz said, "Do Christmas." Fun facts about Christmas.
No, and Dietz clearly loves work as well, because he's going to have to get this out by Christmas.
Yeah.
Because if he gets it out after Christmas, what a waste. It'll sit there with no views for a year because everyone's deeply sad that Christmas is over, Dietz.
Yeah. He's just going to be crying on Christmas Eve in his little black walkie in the corner in the dark. But I'm sure he'll find something on the internet to cheer him up.
Well, to be honest, Santa's going to bring him coal, so that should keep him warm. Good. All right. We've got Christmas first. We've got Christmas facts. I think I'm first this week.
Okay, cool.
I'll start on this one. My fact to open the whole Christmas thing.
Yes,
my fact.
Christmas.
My fact is good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, and that is my fact.
I'm going to see if I can repeat that, because I swam in the ocean at some point. My ears might be blocked, but did I hear good Wenceslas?
No, you heard
What?
good King Wenceslas
Oh, yeah.
looked out on the feast of Stephen.
Oh, yeah.
You know the hymn, right? You don't know the hymn. Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen. There you go. You see,
I know the tune.
But that's also now my fact.
Oh.
Just that line.
Did
That's
he
the
really?
fact.
Good king, hey? Good King Wenceslas.
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 How many of that beer?
Oh, it's lovely Erdinger Wise beer. Lovely. Thank you, Germans.
Yeah, you've had all of 3 sips.
So,
ready for
are you
Wenceslas.
saying, is it a fact? So, is it based on history? It's a lovely... I wonder if it's one of those... Because I got a little fact about hymns or Christmas carols, because not all Christmas carols are hymns. I think the hymn is if it's got the religious thing, but the other one is...
Yes.
So, is this a Christmas carol? I know...
I'm not asking you if it's a Christmas carol. I'm saying that good King
a fact.
Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen.
Bloody hell, man.
That is-
Bloody hell. Look, I've got no idea. I'm just thinking about it. I'm doing the Warren thing. I'm doing...
Now everybody's getting a gratuitous butt shot of...
He wants to touch my beer. Ow. You have to punish me with that microphone. I'm being crucified. It's the Christmas show, not the Easter show. You're crucifying me with a mic stand.
Okay, good.
Not funny.
Good. Are we ready? Are you...
Yes.
Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen. That is my fact.
Feast of Stephen. What is that even? Stephen, look, I don't know, but I'm doing the Warren thing of elimination or think about it. Or is he lying? Is he telling the truth? Or is that song factually based, or is it a story? Is it a myth? And what is the Feast of Stephen? And why has it got such a wacky name? I think it's a children's made-up story, because no king would ever have such a ridiculous name, not even a Scandinavian.
No, I mean, you're right. He wasn't Scandinavian.
Oh, so I'm saying it's not a fact.
Are you saying it's not a
No,
fact?
it's not a fact. It's made up. It's a children's thing.
I mean, you're right. It's not a fact, but you're wrong because of the reason. So
okay.
it is a true story. It
Is
is about
it?
it is about Wenceslas, who was the Duke of Bohemia.
Oh.
He lived from
Ooh.
907 to 935, so he died at the age of 28. But he was the Duke of Bohemia, not the king, and that's where the fact is wrong. He was made a king, but only after his death by the Emperor of Prussia, because he was good King Wenceslas. So he was a good guy. He was known not just on the Feast of Stephen, which is Boxing Day. Saint Stephen, the feast of Saint Stephen, being the second day of Christmas, being Boxing Day.
My.
Yeah, he was known to kind of late at night, sort of put a coat on and go out and give alms to the poor and knock on church doors and leave stuff there. And but his story is quite interesting because so his dad died when he was quite young, and he was next in line for the kind of dukedom of Bohemia, and but because he was so young, there was this power vacuum, and people kind of fell into fighting with each other, and his grandmother got assassinated.
Good grief.
Yeah, some people say strangled with her wedding veil, which is quite an interesting sort of weird detail for history to remember. And then his mom tried to take control, and in the end, it was decided that Wenceslas would become king or duke, but that when he turned 18, but his mother would rule as regent in his stead until that time. And then what happened was his mother became really power hungry. So when he turned 18, he had to actually banish her out of the kingdom, and the dukedom, I suppose. And but at the same time, he had a younger brother, who called Boleslaus. If you thought Wenceslaus was a bad name, Boleslaus was his younger brother, and Boleslaus badly wanted to be the duke, and Wenceslas came to this kind of agreement with him where they would split the dukedom, and Boleslaus would rule the one half and Wenceslas would rule the other half, and but Boleslaus was always resentful of this apparently, and when Wenceslas was 28, Boleslaus hired 3 nobles called Tira, Seste, and Nurse. Nurse, definitely the correct way to pronounce that name. To stab him to death, and they stabbed him until he was on his knees, and then Boleslaus ran him through with a lance.
Good.
So they executed him. Yeah. And Boleslaus history remembers as being Boleslaus the Cruel. So probably rightly so if you're capable of running your brother through with a with a lance. But it's the Czech Republic area.
Well,
Bohemia,
that makes sense.
So it was likely true. He almost certainly looked out on the Feast of Stephen because it existed at that time. He was known for helping the poor, as he does in the hymn.
Oh, I see.
What was wrong was that he wasn't a king.
Wasn't a king,
he
was
wasn't
a
king.
duke.
At the time when he looked out of his window, he wouldn't have been a king, he would have been a duke. Though he was, after his death, made a king, kind of, by the emperor retroactively. So
But by then it was a Christian kingdom, wasn't it? Was it
so
still
I mean, technically it was. His
900s,
dad, yeah, so his dad was a Christian, and his grandfather was a Christian, but his mom was a pagan. And she converted to Christianity to marry his dad. But literally, his grandfather was the first Christian in the family. So it was a very newly Christian kingdom.
Wow.
But I suppose which is why the song sort of came to prominence, or why his story came to prominence, was because he was an early Christian king exhibiting Christian morality.
Oh, I see.
And Christian kindness.
Because of the helping the poor and
that's
stuff.
Right. That's right.
Does the song mention his terrible demise?
No. The song does not, which is why we sing it at Christmas. We would have it be super weird if we had this death. And they ran him through with the lance. I mean, look, we've heard of worse, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like the Monty Python Quest of the Holy Grail.
Yes.
That's Brave Sir Robin. That's my
Yes,
favorite song.
Right.
Brave Sir Robin. And then, all sorts of ways of how... Please stop that. And he...
All right, lads.
They
Enough of that now.
spilled his guts, and they ran him through with a sword and spilled his... No, please stop it. Brave Sir Robin. You what? No, I love that. Okay, so that's interesting.
So we show 907 to 935.
Because
Duke.
I think
Duke Wenceslas.
in our South African sort of religious upbringing in the old South Africa, and kind of what I was exposed to, there weren't a lot of sort of carols. Any carols we heard were more from the TV, sort of American.
Oh, really? Were you isolated
Totally.
from the filthy Satanism of a non-religious religious holiday song.
V-Town, bro. It
Sure.
was a Silent Night and all that stuff. There was Silent Night and
Hark the Herald Angels Sing.
oh yes, and
They
then
love a bit of Hark the Herald.
bit of like bit of Boney M if it wasn't banned
really?
by the apartheid. But
yeah, I mean, Wenceslas is a bit of a hero in the Czech Republic. They've got a square in Prague called Wenceslas Square, and there's a statue of him in the middle of the square. And there's a rumor that if ever the Czech Republic is under attack, then the statue of Wenceslas will come to life and raise an army
nice
to defend the land. So there you are.
Brilliant.
That's who he is.
What a dude. Wenceslas. What a name.
Yeah.
Sounds like a character from Game of Thrones. I'll stick with that word, also from a carol, which I like, deck the halls with boughs of holly. Fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Fa la 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 la. Then what I like is the third line. Don we now our gay apparel. Oh dear.
Like hot pants and a tight
It-
tank top.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. That joke was too easy, and I apologize. please don't hate me.
So don't hate him for donning. He will don he now his gay apparel
Right.
after this on his own in his little flat. And then the fourth line is toll the ancient Yuletide carol. Fa la 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 la. So what is Yuletide? It led me to that. And so it's a bit of a Germanic festival, and it was also quite pagan. I think in reverence of the god Odon. So there was all that stuff, and this is going to lead me to another fact. But the person who was sort of responsible, or the region and the country responsible for taking Yule tide, or Yule, they called it Yule, not the like hip hop Yule. Soldier Boy, you not that. That's different.
Right.
Shout out to my homies. Sorry, I'm just having a bit of a laugh. I got my boy. He's a hip hop star.
We've still got a last hangover technically of that festival, which is the Yule log, obviously, which is I know in Britain a lot of people still do it, where they bring in a large log and you kind of set it on fire. But then it was obviously bonfires and building of.
Yeah. So my fact is, it was actually the Norwegians in 950 who combined Christmas, the new religion of Christmas, Christianity. They combined Yule and Christmas. It was the Norwegians in 950. Date, whatever. I don't mind if you get the date wrong, but it was the Norwegians.
I'm gonna call bullshit on it simply because I know that initially. Christmas was set on a pagan holiday. The reason why we have it on the 25th of December, even though people believe that Jesus was born in the spring, though we've got no evidence for exactly which date, is because that was when the pagan festival of Saturnalia was.
Oh.
And so the Pope at the time, and I think he may have been Julius the First. He said, and that off the top of my head, he like Julius Malema, he decreed that Christmas would be on that day of Saturnalia to just try and overcome it. And the two started blending because people, they were Christian, but they also, who doesn't love a bit of a piss up and a giant fire? We're not going to give up our piss up and our giant fire. And the Norwegians do that weird thing where they burn the goat. They've got
there's a Yule goat and a Yule bear.
Yeah.
Oh, they like burning shit.
Yeah, because the Yule goat, I think, is supposed to come through the town giving people presents or begging for food or something, and then now there's a town in Norway.
And then what do? They beat him up and burn him.
No. But then there's a town in Norway where they make a 40-meter straw goat or a 40-foot straw goat or something. This is enormous straw goat
and
that
they burn
set fire
it.
to. Yeah.
So they do burn the goat.
Yeah. So they do burn the goat, but.
It's not goat.
Yeah, it's not part of the initial story. It's not part of the. And then that all of that Northern Europe have really kind of gotten themselves well confused because in Austria, the Krampus comes past and and I don't know, threatens small children.
Really?
Yeah.
Around Christmas time.
Yeah, because he threatens the bad children, tells children to be good. Otherwise they're not going to get any presents and whatever. There's weird traditions. Zwarte Piet in the Netherlands.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, essentially,
Oh.
it's just guys dressing in
Zwarte
blackface.
Piet.
Yeah,
That's
and then they're the equivalent of coal there. You know, I suppose
oh.
they're supposed to look like chimney sweeps, I guess.
Ah.
But unfortunately, in this modern day and age, they just look like L. Jolson, and it's super racist. And they hate people saying it's super racist. They get very very upset. But then the Dutch did traffic 1.7 million people in the slave trade. So you know, I mean, let's be honest, your culture's super racist.
Oh my god.
um,
So you're saying, okay, so you called it bullshit. You're saying it wasn't, because my fact was it was the
yeah, you've got a
Norwegians in
quite specific
950.
date. Yeah.
Yeah, Norwegians in 950 that combined Yuletide with Christmas. And I'm afraid the fact is true.
Wow.
Was them, but you know, yeah, around it was a specific king in Norway who was kind of the man that they think is historically responsible for Christianizing Yuletide
Okay.
or Yule, and he reigned between 1913 and 1960 something.
19 or 9?
Nine.
Nine.
Nine. Nine. Nine. Nine. Nine. And yeah, there was that
Ryan,
part of the.
that sounds like a highly suspicious fact. I'll be
Well,
honest. I'm gonna
wouldn't
go
be
home
the
and do some
first.
research myself. And in fact, I have a Christmas present for you because of that.
Yes.
Because it's Christmas,
Yay.
and you have left me disappointed and sad on Christmas, much like Father Christmas has by not showing up for the last 30 years. So I got you a wee drinky. a little drinky
that's
for you.
so nice.
We're gonna pour you some of these over the course of the of the show.
That's nice. It's also Germanic, isn't it?
It is. That's what I thought
very
it'd be,
Germanic.
apt.
Are you-
There you are.
thanks, man. That's so sweet of you.
Yeah,
Are
I
you
know.
having one with me?
No, you're gonna have a lot of them over the course of the show. Enjoy it.
This is fun. Did you know about this?
Enjoy it.
Bugger. Yes, it means a reindeer's
Huntmaster.
meester. Really?
Hunting master. Yeah,
Must I knock it back
Yes,
in
please.
good
Oh,
old
please knock it
Yuletide
back, yeah.
fashion?
Yeah, knock it back. I mean, you don't really want to sip it. It tastes like licking on Santa's nuts, but you know.
Thank you. It's like medicine. Thank you very
It
much.
is. It's quite a lot.
Don't know
like
where this
medicine, yeah.
podcast is going to go, but thank you so
Oh
much.
no! Oh no! I know, and I'm looking forward to it. You normally can't handle the end of a podcast after 2 beers. This is going to be great. I don't want to be seen to be encouraging this. Don't.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, there's a lot of kind of weird stuff that traditionally relates to Christmas. You know, like we've got a lot of stuff in Christmas that supposedly got historical meaning and historical kind of value. You know, like the colors of Christmas. This is my next sort of fact. You know, the colors of Christmas, the 3 primary colors. The red is supposed to represent Jesus' blood and his ultimate sacrifice, and then green is supposed to represent the resurrection, and gold is the fact that he's the King of Kings.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing makes Santa's suit pretty chilling if you think about it.
Oh, it's
Because-
covered in the blood.
Blood of
Oh,
Jesus.
Santa, did you have
but
to?
Here's my fact. Santa's suit was green until Coke changed it to red for their adverts to represent their brand.
Well,
you may have heard this before. You may have heard this before.
Yes, I have heard something about that before. It's probably one of your weird trick things because I've heard that it's one of those urban myths, maybe, like there was also cocaine in Coca-Cola once upon a time.
I think that's true, though. I think that one is actually true. I think that's why it's called Coca-Cola, you know?
And it was an American thing, and Coke made him have a red suit, and since then Hollywood's movies and red, and then every shopping mall from then
Yeah.
since forever has got a Santa
red
Claus.
Santa,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll say it's true. Coca-Cola made him red, man.
Yeah, no,
Did
it's
they?
a lie. It's a
What?
lie. Yeah, it's an urban myth.
What is it? A
It's an urban legend.
Fucker,
that,
man.
Yeah, so Coke themselves acknowledged that they weren't responsible for changing his coat color. You know, the thing is, before Coke kind of got involved in Christmas, Santa was represented in a lot of different ways. Father Christmas, he was, he was tall and skinny. Sometimes he was short. Sometimes he was bearded. Sometimes he was not. Sometimes he was fat. Sometimes he was. But then in 1931, what Coke did do was they hired a Swedish-American artist by the name of Haden Sandblom to draw a picture of Santa for their Christmas advertising, 1931. And that picture is the round rosy-cheeked, fat, white-bearded fellow that we know. So it almost kind of took one image of Santa and cemented it as the image that we think of. But it wasn't the color red. The color red they didn't introduce to the concept at all.
Really?
Yeah, he was.
Coca-Cola didn't.
Yeah, so there you are.
Oh. Wow, man. That's very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, my next fact is, ask me if I believe in Santa Claus. This is going to be wonderful, children. Bring the children closer.
Well, Ryan, do you believe in Santa Claus?
Yes,
Ryan?
I do. Yes, I do. Why? Because he did exist. And, if there's an afterlife, then he still exists. Isn't that lovely, children? No, well, as you know, Saint Nick did exist.
Yeah.
Also
He
around the
was Turkish,
600s.
wasn't he?
Yeah, the old Greek city, Turkish city, and then also known as the miracle worker, but a patron saint of many things.
Yeah.
This is supposed to
You're
be
gonna
my
horrify us,
multiple
aren't you?
choice question, so
Oh, is it?
I've moved it up, but maybe I should park it. Right, we're going to park that.
The Jägermeister is working so beautifully. It really is.
Well, let's move swiftly on to the Jehovah's Witnesses. Let's bring it down and
Look, you've done the thing that they do on radio. You know that thing where they like,
Oh,
they kind of
plant
throw it
their
forward. Hey,
seed.
later. Guys,
Later.
stick around.
multiple choice question all about Saint Nick. So the Jehovah's Witnesses, as you know, don't celebrate Christmas, and one of the reasons they give as to why they don't is because Jesus never told them. That's not funny, or is it? I don't know. So what? That's simply
Well, I mean, the
because
Bible
Jesus
never
said
mentions
don't-
Christmas as a holy day.
Yeah, so Jesus said he didn't say they must, so they don't, because he didn't say they must.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Bible very clearly does not. It tells you which days you must keep holy, which is the seventh day, right?
Right?
Yeah, it doesn't mention that Christmas must be a holy day. And why would it? Jesus didn't even know his own birthday was going to be projected onto that day. Like 25 December, Oaks, just for no random reason, just to, have a bit of a piss up. You know when the pagans do that Saturnalia thing? Pretend it's my birthday. That would be very strange.
Yeah, well, what I like is Queen Elizabeth I. So she took over from her dad.
You know what I like? Queen Elizabeth I. Whoa.
Well,
She was a goer.
That
She didn't take over from her dad.
no,
She took over
wait, didn't
from
she?
her sister, yeah, from Mary.
Did she? Queen of Scots.
No, Bloody Mary.
Queen of Scots.
No. Yeah, you see now, there's two Marys, right? There's
Two Bloody
Mary, Queen of Scots. Yeah, Bloody
Yes.
Mary was the one who tried to return England to Catholicism.
Yes.
After her father had famously
Trying
divorced
to- yes.
them from the church. And then
So she went a fantastic diplomatic route. She was like the Ramaphosa of of England.
who, Elizabeth or
Elizabeth.
Okay.
She led a motley crew of a little bit of everything, and she guided. So she still rejected the Pope and Catholicism, but there were a lot of Catholics in Britain, especially maybe you could say who weren't very clever, and well, the sort of, the labouring class who weren't very clever,
Right.
perhaps, and so, but they, it was obviously very big back then. I understand that, like, you can't reject the church because then you're rejecting everything, God and heaven and everything.
Right.
So, in her Church of England thing, Anglican thing, there was a lot of Catholic ritual. So I like that combination of two. And so, back to the kind of Yuletide thing, I just think it's a splendid combination that we have a bit of nativity, a bit of a tree. Is a tree thing? Oh no, it's a Satan. No, it's not Satan. It's just
So
Yuletide.
what does this have to do with Elizabeth the First of England?
Nothing. I think we're going back to the Jehovah's Witnesses.
All right. Okay. So the Jehovah's your fact is that the
So
Jehovah's
they
Witnesses,
say he didn't say it, so we don't do it.
yeah. Why not? I think that makes sense because he didn't say it. He didn't.
No.
It would have been a weird thing for him to say. It would have been very, very strange.
So you've said true, and you are true. You're right. The other reason they give the JWs, as the evangelicals like to refer to them, that's being silly, is they think it is mixed with a lot of paganism and therefore very bad.
Right.
from the devil because of all the pagan ritual, and it's lost its true essence, meaning. Not that they're even interested in that. He simply said, don't bother about my birthday. Now, me, as a sort of religious chap on the sort of Protestant evangelical side, I say it's lovely to bother with his birthday because
did he
it's meant.
specifically say don't bother with his birthday, or did he not even enter his head that people would bother with his birthday?
Yeah, he didn't. It's true. He didn't mention it. Like what they say is, what he did say was communion. Do this in remembrance of me. Break the bread.
Yeah.
Drink the. This is my body. This is my blood. So they take that seriously, as do all sects of Christianity. The communion's very serious.
Yeah, look, Christmas hasn't been universally accepted, across the board. You remember during the kind of after they chopped off the head of King Charles I, and then the Roundheads and Oliver Cromwell took charge. They banned Christmas because they were like, oh, it's not really.
Did they?
Yeah, it's not really religious. So for 12 years, England.
Oh, they kind of. They called themselves the Puritans when England was a bit of a republic just for a while.
Yeah, so for 12 years there was no Christmas in England, and in fact in America, because America was founded by
the Puritans,
by the most seriously religious people.
Yeah,
there are places in England where technically on the books Christmas was banned for 260 or 270 years. Yeah, because they kind of arrived. They said no, we're not doing that Christmas thing, and then they didn't do it. And then they just never really took it off the books, and then people started doing it. And then
now they're deep frying turkeys. Isn't that just the most splendid thing?
I mean, if you deep fry turkey, you need God in your life. Like this is not. Okay. You are not
I
right
hear
in the
you,
head.
but I would love to experience a deep fried. Like, what did they take the whole thing?
Yeah, they take the whole thing and they plunge it into a giant flaming bucket of oil. They're mad. They're mad.
Sounds wonderful.
And it sounds like it'll kill you before New Year. You eat a deep fried turkey, you are gonna die.
So for me, I've got a question. I got a question, a fact on the nativity a bit later. But because there's so much loveliness in the nativity scene as we know it, it's got so many characters and such atmosphere.
I mean, it's the same reason I like The Simpsons.
Yeah, so
many characters.
Absolutely. There's shepherds, and it's in a stable, and there's sheep, and there's shepherds who came from afar, and there's a star, and there's wise men, and there's shepherds. I've said that. Okay, and that's pretty much it. And there's Mary and Joseph.
I mean, but obviously they were never in a stable, right? Like this is now, what historians are saying. They were probably in a private home. It's just that then private homes, the people would live up here, and then the animals would live down here, so that the warmth of the animals would keep the family warm. But what essentially mattered was they were saying, oh, well, there was no room for them in the normal house.
Yes.
So they had to sleep with the animals in the stable.
Drink your eggnog.
Elegant, classy,
and
sophisticated.
Yes. Basically, I think it's all rather lovely, but also from a theological thing, the whole incarnation's rather important. The birth and the death and what happened after the death, rather important. I think it's important. You deep fry them turkeys.
I mean, the interesting thing about God is that we know exactly what happened on the night he was born, right? Jesus. We know exactly what happened, down to the last finest detail, despite there being no journalists, no biographers. And then we know nothing else about him for another 30 years.
That's right.
We know,
interesting, eh? We know there was an Egypt thing. Run away to Egypt. That's all we know.
Yeah.
And there was the 12. When he was 12, there was the thing at the temple.
there was a thing. But
then nothing.
Yeah, you would have thought that somebody born under such auspicious circumstances that the king himself notes it. People would have followed him. People would have found out what he did with his life.
No.
But they don't.
They don't. They know nothing.
They don't. That's Netflix, if you're listening. I'd like to pitch you a show. It's like Smallville. That show Smallville about a young Superman. It's like Smallville, but it's about Jesus. He learns. Oh, look what I can do with fish.
What are you doing? You're practicing that fish thing with the 12 baskets again.
My word. I've
Stop
accidentally
Come and
turned
help
my
your
bath
father.
into wine. What happened that night? I bet shit got wild. Anyway, Netflix, call me.
And there's voiceovers like young Sheldon. We have young Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, but I want to hear them do it in the Wonder Years style. That Wonder Years voice of, that was the day that I learned I could do the thing with a fish. And Winnie and I were never the same again. That's the voiceover I want.
This is lovely.
Yeah. Good. All right. Where were we?
Yeah.
I was thinking like this is not even my fact. I was just thinking I did some casual maths just as a bonus. And I worked out that basically so I tried to work out like could Santa conceivably deliver all the presents, right?
Yeah.
So I sat down to do some casual maths, and the first problem I ran into was trying to work out how many hours of daylight and nighttime there actually are. Because you've got to assume that Santa's hardcore, right? He only comes when it's dark.
Yes, sure.
Right? So now you got to deal with like
proper
nighttime,
dark.
proper
Yeah,
nighttime.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So now that would imply that there's about 36, 38 hours of darkness because he's 24, but he gets to kind of track around the world following the night, right? So he starts the night here and he gets in. But then there's also the problem with the fact that the Scandinavian countries and northern Germany and Canada and these places are in basically perpetual night. So technically he could leave them to last and then
Fantastic.
yeah, and then hit them up later.
Great idea.
In fact, he starts earlier there, doesn't he? Because he comes on Christmas Eve. He comes and he parties with the family during the day on Christmas Eve in some of the Scandinavian countries. So on the 24th. So he actually starts quite early. I estimated he had about 42 hours, right? And then I looked at the world's population. So it's 8 billion people. In many homes, like X number of people live for homes. So maybe you're looking at about 1.6, 1.8 billion homes that he's got to get to, right? And then I started looking at the distance and the time and things. And essentially I worked out that he'll have to travel at about 8 million kilometers an hour. And that he's got about roughly 300 microseconds, which is like 0.0003 of a second in each home. So he's got to deliver all the presents, eat a mince pie, write a note in 300 microseconds. So yeah, he does the work. That guy
There is no time to shit out all those mince pies.
Look, the next day you eat that much fruit, you're gonna shit for. In fact, that's what he does for January. he just sits on the fucking toilet and shits out a mince pie.
You're literally speaking the solution to his problem as you're painting the picture.
Yeah.
Because it's the blasts from his farts that are just powering him across the skies to all the beautiful children
Boys
around
and girls,
the world.
Yeah. No, I think
8 million.
yeah, no, I think the reason why we portray him as being overweight is because like a bear, he has to fill himself up he has to get really, really big.
Yeah.
Then he hits 8 million kilometers an hour. That'll take it out of you. Racing drivers said that they lose like 3 kilos just in every race, like Formula One drivers.
The speed.
Yeah, no, just from the sweat and the exertion of racing 70 laps. So now you can imagine this dude, 42 straight hours, 8 million kilometers an hour.
He's gonna
in out.
He's gonna look like the Joker when he's done.
Yeah, man, that dude is up and down more than Ron Jeremy. He's gonna come out. He's gonna be skinny, scrawny. Then he's gonna shit himself stupid on the mince pies. He knows he's got to basically pack those pounds on for survival purposes. Anyway, that was a bonus.
That's a lovely bonus fact.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely. But anyway,
I got to tell you the link between. I think it's his sponsorship with Coca-Cola, and they left in the cocaine for his. They still got
all
a
the
factory.
sugar and cocaine.
Yes,
you're right. That's exactly what he needs.
The North
for that
Pole
night.
factory of the Coca-Cola keeps the cocaine in for Santa for that one night, and the reindeers.
Yeah, he's just 42 hours like on the. You see Santa, he's not kissing mommy because he's grinding his jaw like a nut.
The house music's pumping. He's very go. We're doing
Yeah, exactly. But so allegedly he's pulled by 8 reindeer, right? And we know this because of Clement Clark Moore's A Visit from St. Nicholas.
Yes.
Poem, from 1823.
See, there were journalists because he documented that.
No, he talks about the night that he witnessed St. Nick, and that's become a bit of that was a defining moment for our representation of Santa.
It's the night before Christmas.
The night before Christmas, right? Yeah, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. But the bit that I want to focus on is he names all of the 8 reindeer.
Yes.
So he says, and this is my fact. He says, now Dasher, now Dancer, Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. That's my fact.
Yeah.
That's how those lines go.
Wait, did you say Cupid?
Yeah, so it's now Dasher, now Dancer, Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen.
Yeah, I got no problem with them facts. Yeah, Blitzen, yeah, I know. Dasher, Prancer, Vixen. Where's Rudolph?
So Rudolph, allegedly, he
so
comes
there's the
later. He's a
song.
later story. But he comes...
From the same poem.
No.
No.
He's a later story. Somebody else wrote a story about how on a foggy night they needed this weird red-nosed reindeer too. And that actually, I think, was a
song.
No, I think what it was initially a supermarket chain, essentially developed this character Rudolph to advertise as like a mascot their store.
That's clever.
Yeah, and initially they didn't want to give him a red nose because that indicated alcoholism back then. So they were like, "Oh, the red-nosed reindeer, it's a bit much." So then the whole thing kind of spurred off of there. But
I like to think that your facts are spot on. All those 8 reindeer, yeah, that's their names and that's them.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This one is for like South Africans principally, this fact, because that's not their names. In the poem, now Dasher, now Dancer, Prancer and Vixen, 100%.
Yes.
On Comet, on Cupid, 100%.
Yes.
And then on Donner and Bliksem. And that's because Donner and Bliksem means thunder and lightning in Dutch. And obviously in South Africa, it took on quite a rough sort of slangy sort of crude.
Yes, yeah. I'm going to thunder you, I'm going to lightning you.
Yeah. Donner and Bliksem,
Bliksem.
So that was their names, Donner and Bliksem, and then it kind of got changed to Donner and Blitzen
was
later
it really?
on. Yeah, but yeah, in the initial poem, it's Donner and Bliksem, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Seriously?
I mean, yeah.
Oh, so the original reindeers of Santa were Donner and Bliksem.
That's correct, yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's wonderful.
Only when you say it in that accent and only in that South African, like, you know, I'm going to Donner you.
And then that's simply in American, they're called Donner and Blitzen.
Yeah, that's slowly changed. But yeah, there was
cute. Donner and Bliksem.
Yeah.
Man, that's a beautiful fact. I didn't know that. We actually representing, we got 2 reindeers from South Africa. Donner and Bliksem.
It is Dutch, you know, for thunder and lightning. But it's just in our country, it's become. I don't know whether it is in the Netherlands. I don't know whether it is, you know, maybe they're just too busy being racist. But yeah, down here, we've made those.
Zwartspiet.
Yeah, we made those swear words down in South Africa.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful fact. So I love the lovely fact, Warren. The nativity scene. It's got all sorts of things happening, and including the little 3 wise men.
Mm-hmm.
Were there 3? We don't know, but they are mentioned in 3 of the Gospels: Mark, Luke, and John, not Matthew. That's my fact. 3 wise men are mentioned in 3 of the Gospels: Mark, Luke, and John. And
what did John
Matthew.
fill that bit of the story with, though?
No, so he mentions them.
Matthew doesn't.
Yeah.
So what did Matthew put in instead of them, like giraffes or something? What in his story?
And then the 3 giraffes.
What did he put in his story? What is the
Matthew?
Was he just lazy? He was just like, these guys are not important.
Yeah, you know you mentioned journalists and stuff like that, and I think the most meaty journalistic work is probably Luke, who also wrote Luke, and he wrote the Book of Acts, and he was commissioned by a chap called Theophilus. Oopsie, sorry, Most Excellent Theophilus. Is
that his name? Most Excellent Theophilus. He's like Bill and Ted's sidekick. Most Excellent Theophilus.
I think that's how Luke begins and how Acts begins. Most excellent.
So Luke wrote 2 books.
Yeah. So Luke would have mentioned them.
I think,
John.
why do we need 4 versions of the same story? I've never really understood that.
Yeah, I don't know. But, like, it's also...
It's almost like saying we don't really know which is the true version. Here's just a bunch.
I think...
Pick your favorite.
I think, and it's also how did it all come about. I think Mark was first, and Matthew read Mark and added to Mark. And so John is this weird thing all on its own because I think he was closest to the dude, whereas Luke was.
By the dude, you don't mean the character from The Big Lebowski.
No,
you mean Jesus. Right?
the
Okay.
dude, the dude.
Do you think I can lure Dietz in with another beer?
Oh, you
What
can.
do you think I need to do?
Get him. He's busy sitting there.
Yeah.
He's busy.
So you're saying just in the book of Matthew, these three wise men have been excluded.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, they're not really that important a kind of part. You know, what do they do in the story really?
Wow, this is interesting. And this was like, I thought of this.
Okay.
And then a kind of theologian or dude, Bible study dude from Texas. Not really a theologian, but I heard him on the internet, and so
He said the same thing as you.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
No, so okay, think about it. What did they bring him?
Gold and frankincense and myrrh.
Yes, and then what did the trio have to do? Cheers.
Thank you very much.
What did the trio have to do? This is what the Texan taught me. The evangelical Texan taught me. So what did the trio have to do at some point soon after the birth?
Well, what happens is they went and they visited Herod initially
Well,
on the way there, and then
the trio of baby G and Mary and Joseph.
I don't know.
They had to bolt. They had to leave because they were going to get killed.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
no.
they
According
weren't
to the
because
story,
the three wise men didn't go back to Herod. They didn't go back and report to Herod.
yes, but they had to flee
Uh-huh.
to
And
Egypt.
and then did they use the money?
Yes.
So they used the gold and the
Yeah, so that's what the
frankincense and
Texan
myrrh.
taught me. So how did they get to Egypt? They used the gold, or they sold the frankincense, or the myrrh, whatever the hell myrrh is.
Yeah, some sort of like balm,
They sold
like an
the,
ointment.
they sold the body wash,
Yeah.
and he used that to just find some work in Egypt and stay there for don't know how long. But what I liked was, oh, that's nice. But he brought them. So they actually brought them some pocket
So it's
money.
like that
Pocket
feels
money
like a
to get-
retcon, though. That feels like a retcon, you know? Like, it feels like
yeah, sure.
like Rogue One in the Star Wars trilogy, where
Yeah.
everyone's like, how did they know about that port? Why was that port there? What a stupid plot hole. Who would design this massive Death Star and then put a port there?
Look, it doesn't say they got to Egypt because they used the gold from the three wise men. It doesn't say
Yeah,
that.
it sounds like
but
a
the
retcon.
Texan is going, you see, God provides for his children.
Netflix. This is season 3.
So it's like,
Is
Yeah.
how they, season 3. We'll do some throwbacks
yeah, so it's just like
in Young Jesus.
how did young Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus survive that long trip to Egypt? Well, one of them wise men gave them some gold, so
It's
that's
not that long though. The trip.
is it?
No, I mean from kind of
Apparently it's
Bethlehem
like
to.
it's a week. It's a
Yeah,
week's
I mean,
walk.
come on, how much you got like a whole thing of gold? You got like they were spending it like they were just like rolling like kings. They were like on camels all the way. You know that was.
Well,
that was
it's
as good
like
as it got.
stopover. They're like little places you could stop over and sleep for the night.
Right, but I don't think you had to pay in like kings brought them these gifts. Kings, they probably could have bought a house. And here you're telling me they irresponsibly spent it on a ferry.
Nice.
You know, I mean, it seems a bit much. Seems a bit much.
Cruise.
honeymoon
Honeymoon cruise.
I just in young Jesus will be constantly just covered in bling. He'll just feel like he'll have massive rings. He'll have a grill because that's what his parents did with it.
And frankincense was a incense thing.
I don't know what any of this stuff is. I don't know. I don't, it's probably something like, oh, it was nutmeg. You know, it's probably like. It was worth $800 million a gram back then, but now we're like, oh fuck.
In today's world, this was
Yeah.
and the three wise men gave him gifts of gold and what's that mushroom that's
Oh yeah,
great?
truffles.
Gold and truffles
Yeah, yeah. They brought
and
it.
cognac. What? Cognac? Yes,
And
and
the
truffles.
special edition Lord of the Rings box.
It's worth a lot, Mary.
Yeah.
Aromatic resin
What's that?
for incense perfume.
Oh, thank you. Frankincense, ladies
It's
and
an
gentlemen.
aromatic
Thank you.
resin.
Dietz is an aromatic resin used for incense and perfumes.
Oh.
That's nice.
I mean, I would have to smell it before I decided whether that was a good gift, you know? Like, if someone brought me frankincense, I'd be like, okay, cool, I'll let you know tomorrow if I'm happy.
Is it good stuff? Yeah. This frankincense is the bomb. Oh,
That's exactly what happened, Joseph. Woke up 3 weeks later. I saw angels, bro. I'm in Egypt. Wow, how did we get here? Where's all the gold? Who knows? Blasphemous. Blasphemous. Although I think it's okay to say shit about Joseph. He was only a man, right? Yeah.
yeah.
It's not blasphemy.
No, he's just a dude.
Not blasphemy. It's
He
just
didn't
just-
even.
casual mockery, really. All right, I'm gonna take this out of out of the Middle Ages, and I'm gonna bring it staggering into the future. We were talking about the Christmas carols. I probably should have brought this one up at the time, but Jingle Bells. Jingle Bells.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so Jingle Bells initially written as a Thanksgiving song. So it first appeared as Thanksgiving, and then slowly it kind of, I guess, as global warming happened, and snow started occurring later and later in the year, they needed to sort of bump the sleighing song
Oh, I see.
from Thanksgiving. No, I've just.
Are you talking shit?
It had been bumped way earlier. It became almost immediately a Christmas song. But
Okay,
yes. It was initially imagined as a Thanksgiving song, but my thing is it was the very first song ever played in space.
Oh, why? Where do you get this shit from?
Because they're dashing through the glow on a
Dashing
one-horse
through the
open.
glow. Did they actually play it in space? Did they play it? Is it NASA? Here's a little trick for you three Americans. I'm guessing it was Buzz, Neil, and the other
There
dude.
were a lot of people in space before them, though.
Oh,
A lot of people.
yeah, this is another one of Warren's effed up facts. I'm sure it's spot on. It's like, it's so balmy and like, what? How would you know the first song played in space? And who played it? Did they play it from Houston, or did they play it on the tape recorder in
You're
space?
asking all the important
Can you
questions. now.
even play a thing in a ship?
And why? Why would they play Jingle Bell?
Yeah, it sounds to me like maybe it happened to be Christmas Day. They're flying through space, and Houston has a little fun. Hey, let's play Jingle Bells for them. Press play, and everybody, a bit of a laugh.
Strictly, I mean, that's not
Everyone's
strictly playing it
working.
in space, though, right?
Well, and it's broadcast through the. Well,
Yeah.
I still think it's a nice fact. I think it's true. I think it's a nice fact. Nice.
I'm going to tell
true.
you. Let me tell you a story.
Tell it where
Tell you a
Pappy's
story.
telling us a story.
Yeah, so it was December 16th, 1965.
Uh-huh.
It was on the Gemini 6 that was orbiting Earth at the time, and December 16th, and suddenly the communication between Gemini 6 and Earth, ground control. There's suddenly this message, and the two astronauts, Tom Stafford and Wally Schirmer, they sent through the following message. I'm gonna have to read it for you exactly. They said, Gemini 7, this is Gemini 6. We have an object, looks like a satellite, going from north to south, up in a polar orbit. He's in a very low trajectory, traveling from north to south, and has a very high climbing ratio. It looks like it might even be some static. Very low, looks like he might be going to re-enter soon. Standby 1.
Jeez.
You might just let me try to pick that up. I'm going to try and pick that sound up. Whereupon they played Jingle Bells on a harmonica with sleigh bells. And
that's
ground
funny.
control said, you guys.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So that's
Oh,
what
that's
happened, yeah.
wonderful.
That's the story.
That is
And it became.
wonderful.
They actually snuck the sleigh bells and the harmonica onto the spaceship to do this thing specifically because they knew they were going to be up in space at around Christmas time.
Oh, wow. And of course, the second song ever was Ground Control to Major
Tom, right? It has
Tom.
to be. It has to be. That time that we accidentally sent someone off into space for old Major Tom.
What a lovely Jingle Bell story. And so everyone must be, what? They're saying something? and then the fucking sleigh bells. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fucking. I love it. That's really really cool. Christmas carols. Back to them, man. Christmas songs, not carols.
Oh, you're gonna do
Lovely
hymns.
songs,
You're gonna
I
hymn it
think.
up.
No, I don't know. No. Well, what am I gonna do? Here's a little fun fact.
Okay.
Which came first? Do they know it's Christmas or feed the world? And
Ugh.
do you remember
Oh,
what
the
that
two
was
most
about?
insipid
I
songs in
love
the
those
history
songs.
of the world.
I love those
Oh,
songs.
no.
I love-
Ryan, Ryan,
Do you know-
if there's anything the world hates more,
Oh no, they love.
I don't know of it. I don't know of it because, no.
Even the apartheid government
remember-
played the music videos over and over.
Do you remember
and
at the
over.
start of COVID when all those famous people got together and sang "Imagine There's No Heaven," and they did
God.
that video that they sent, and then everyone was like, "Oh, cringe!"
Yeah, that is cringy.
Yeah,
I
well-
don't think it could ever be repeated, but it was beautiful at the time.
Do they know it's Christmas? It's the most condescending piece of shit from
Well,
Africa.
now it is.
From Africa.
Back in the
officially-
80s, it was
no.
wonderful.
From Africa officially, we know it's fucking Christmas. Like we know, okay. Yes, you condescending.
I love that line.
assholes.
And there won't be snow in Africa this Christmas. Yeah, that's because
Yeah, no.
it's
You're
so-
absolutely right. Tim Minchin, he's a an Australian comic, and he wrote the musical Matilda, based on the Roald Dahl book. He wrote a song called "White Wine in the Sun," which is a Christmas carol for people from the Southern Hemisphere. So if you are looking for something to celebrate Christmas with, go and look up "White Wine in the Sun." It's a Southern Hemisphere Christmas carol. It doesn't mention snow once, not once. Yeah.
White
Anyway,
wine in the sun. Oh,
Yeah.
so my question was, just so that you know, but I think you get it. So it was either, I think it's called "Do They Know It's Christmas," and the other one is "We Are the World."
right. So which one was first?
Yes, which one was first?
Which one
So which is
condescended us first?
well? Do you know the difference between the two?
Yeah, I mean, one of them was for Live Aid,
Uh,
and
yeah.
then the other one was I can't remember. To me, they're
Well,
they're
the
largely
difference
the same
is
thing. Yeah.
yes, but the difference is really geographical. It's across the pond. The one's the Brits, the one's the Americans.
Oh, is it okay?
So that they had to top each other.
Oh, I see.
It's like because Live Aid was
by
Philadelphia
top
and
each other, I assume you don't mean in the sense of don their gay apparel.
London. So Live Aid was that glorious across the pond collaboration of London and Philadelphia. So, you know, there was this tradition of let's help the Africans more. No, we'll help them more. No, we'll help them more.
Okay. I
Which
wish
was
they would
lovely.
carry on doing
Hey,
that. I mean,
Africans, man.
we could use. You know what we could use? A couple of power stations. If you guys,
Yes.
Bob Geldof, if you're listening, call
Yeah.
me. We could use a couple
Let's
power
have a
stations.
telethon for a new power
Yeah.
station
If you could.
in the Transvaal in the. Ooh, don't say that. Don't say that.
Yeah, I think that Jägermeister's starting to work. Speaking of which, I think it's time for your second present.
Another present for me.
Yeah,
What did
second
Santa
present.
bring?
It's another Jägermeister. Yeah.
So that was
look.
that was a bonus fact. So which came first? Oh, but I love those songs. I love them. I can tell you a little bit about the British one. It was Bob Geldof, and he got so many. He got Boy George. He got George Michael. He got Spandau Ballet. He got Bono,
Bob Dylan, didn't he? Bob Dylan and
he got Sting.
no,
you
the
got
boss.
you
Am
got
I
the-
confusing them?
Yes, you're on the other side of the pond.
Were there no
Um,
Americans in the British one?
No,
sure they
it's
were.
all Brits
Sure
and the
they were.
Brits and Americans and the
I
Americans.
seem to remember Bob Dylan being really pissed off.
Yeah, and he was in the American one because he's American.
Okay.
British, yeah. George Michael, Boy George, Sting was there. Bono, he made some phone calls.
No, listen.
Spandau
If
Ballet.
there's ever an opportunity to be sanctimonious towards Africa, Bono is there for it. Like there is no one in the world that wants to be sanctimonious towards South Africa more.
To Bono.
Yeah,
as a
to
Jägermeister.
Bono. Yeah.
I take no responsibility
Sau Bono.
as to how
Bono.
the rest of this podcast will go.
Anyway,
Yes,
okay.
Bono was there. And in fact, the producer, because I watched a little video on the making of,
Yeah.
and the producer was like, they didn't think it was such a great song.
No, it's not. It's a shit song.
Hey, don't say things like
I mean,
that.
I'm saying words that is going to get us lower down on the algorithm. That's how strongly I feel about
But
this song.
Bono's line about tonight it's what? Tonight, thank God it's them instead of you. They said, the producer, when he heard Bono pump out that line, is like, fuck, this song's going to be huge. Do you remember
They
that
said,
line?
thank God it's them instead of you.
Yeah, because it's very dramatic. It's like, you fucking lucky Brits.
No, wait, they said, thank God it's them instead of you.
Then don't you even know
No,
that
listen,
line?
No.
That's Bono. Tonight,
Bono.
thank God it's them instead of you. It's like ironic. It's like you're supposed to feel bad and guilty. It's like Phil
No.
Collins. Oh, think twice. It's just another day for you and me in paradise. It's that sort of guilt.
I see.
It's the post-colonial guilt.
So how much did they make for Africa?
Oh,
Did they make enough to pay for the 1.7 million slaves the Dutch took?
oh yeah.
Their racist culture.
Oof.
So you're asking me which one came first?
The Dutch were going to have a Live Aid song, but they didn't have enough musicians that anybody in the world knew ever.
Yeah.
Except
Hiding chart.
except
I
that.
just made him up.
Oh,
But he sounds like a real Dutch.
Who was
entertainer.
that dude who was huge?
He's got a puppet.
Oh, is he a singer?
No, I'm making him up. But all of Dutch entertainment is that. Hello, my name is Hiding, and this is my puppet Mumpy, and we're going to sing you a song now. Do they know it is Christmas?
Why don't they know that it's Christmas?
Why don't they know that it is Christmas? Is the education down there so bad?
They don't even know how to use Google.
Yeah.
That's so funny, Hiding. Thank you.
Thank you, Mumpy.
Because like the Dutch only had like a band zonder naam. It's their only well-known pop, and they came into it South Africa.
Oh, did they?
BZN.
I'm
And
sure
then
they've had.
Who's
They
Helmut
must have had
Lotti?
more
He's not even.
famous bands.
Helmut Lotti, is he Dutch or Belgian? Do you know Helmut Lotti?
I know Helmut
He's this
Lotti.
big and he sings other people's songs very nicely.
And Andre Rieu.
Oh, he's great.
Is he Dutch? Maybe.
Yes, he sounds like he's Dutch. It sounds like he coached Manchester United once or twice. I know, I'm making classical concerts. It's very good. There's next. The Dutch is that weird accent that's like, it's a cross between German and Portuguese. It's like you take the German, but you put in a bit of Portuguese, and then you have got the Dutch. And that's how the Dutch speak.
It's been really awful to be slave trafficked by them. Hello, we got to take you to another country now.
So, excuse me, when do we get? Don't ask what you're going to get there. Just eat your post toasties, and we'll be there in half an hour and 5 weeks.
Okay, the Brits were first. The Brits were first, right?
You're
Yeah.
right. That's a bonus point. Yes, they were. And then it was Michael Jackson. Michael phoned everyone.
In America.
Yeah, he even, you know what he did? Because he wanted to be inclusive. He even got the top country singer at the time, Kenny Rogers, pull in, and he got Tina. He got Hall and Oates, or just the one, both of them, but only the blonde white guy sang.
But which song did they do? They did the
That was called We Are the World, We Are the Children.
We Are
That's
the
the
World.
Americans.
yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't really Christmassy.
It's a lot less condescending, that one.
Yeah, it's more inclusive. That's
Yeah,
clever, hey?
yeah.
And
Anyway, good times.
Yeah.
Good times. I think it's is it multiple choice time now?
sure.
We're on to multiple choice. Yeah, you don't know.
No.
you lost track somewhere around that second Jägermeister.
Did you even answer my question about? You didn't. True or false? My thing about the three wise men. How did we? What's happened here?
Why was it included in Matthew?
Yeah, you
All
didn't
right.
even true or false it, but you can if you want.
What that Matthew? Yeah, we just skipped it, didn't we?
Yeah.
People feel like there's an editing
I'm so
problem. with
sorry,
this
ladies and
episode.
gentlemen. I don't know what happens.
All right, no, it's false. It's not Matthew. It's one of the others.
So I said that they
said-
all, Luke, John, and Mark all
Yeah.
mentioned the Magi.
No, you said that they
the wise
mentioned
men.
the three wise men. Yeah.
This guy knows nothing about the Holy Writ. Okay, so you're saying, is that true or false, my fact?
I'm saying your fact is false.
It is false, because Matthew's the only one that does.
Oh,
And they're called the Magi.
right.
M-A-G-I.
Yeah.
But they were a people who lived in Persia. And then they...
Good. I'm glad we came back to that because
Sorry about
that's
this.
been haunting people. They've been like, "What about the fucking Magi?"
Matthew's the only oak that mentions the Magi.
I think he's a bit more creative. You know, like he put magicians in his thing.
Wonderful.
You know, like somebody should have thrown in a dragon.
Yeah, following a star.
But this is why J.R.R. Tolkien is better than all of them, because he had a giant spider.
Ah,
Like, imagine if one of them had put a giant spider in that story. I would have read the hell out of it.
a
Every
moving,
Christmas.
moving star is epic.
Peter
bro.
Jackson would have directed it. There would have been a Netflix series by now of young Jesus. It already would have happened. But they didn't put in a giant spider or a golem. They should have had a golem. They should have put a Shrek in it.
I don't know about the giant. I haven't seen that one with the giant spider.
Shelob.
Shelob.
Yeah, Shelob.
Is it a girl? No, I didn't
It
see
is a
this.
girl. Did you not?
Does
Did
she
you not
speak?
watch the Lord of the Rings movies?
Maybe the first one. I've seen The Hobbit and the first one. I read The Hobbit, but no, I do want to though. I do want to.
All right,
L-
so
I-
we've covered all of that.
Legolas is he's like got an infinite amount of arrows, like whoosh, 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 and he just never runs out of arrows, even though there's only 4 at
But
any
then you
given
must
time.
have watched more than the first one, because he doesn't really shoot a lot of
He
arrows.
shoots so many.
He
in the
shoots
first
some
one.
arrows at the end.
I
of the
don't
first
think
one.
is Liv Tyler in who's got Alf ears in the first one. She's nice.
Is that what happened? Is you stopped it at Liv Tyler showed up with elf ears. You had to have a little 5-minute break, and you never went back.
Shot these arrows.
Yeah, infinite arrows just being shot all over the room.
It's not true. No, it isn't. But yeah.
All right. One of these things is not named after Christmas. Here's my multiple choice question. One of these things is not named after Christmas. Which is it? Ryan, is it Rovaniemi in Finland? Is it Bethlehem in Pennsylvania? Is it Nolin Mahulwana no Sanko?
Ooh.
Is it KwaZulu-Natal? Is it Christmas Island, or is it the King and I actor Yul Brynner?
Oh man. Oh man. You see, so I've worked this out now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so Nolene, that kind of Noel. So I think Nolene would have got a name from the Welsh Noel. Noel, Noel, na 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 na. Yule Brenner, I think it comes from Yule Tide. Christmas Island, yeah. KwaZulu-Natal's fine, because that's Natal, which is the nativity, and they land some. I was gonna say a nasty word for a Portuguese person, but I'll say the nice word for Portuguese person. Portuguese person, Vasco. I was gonna say some Vasco da Gama landed in Port Natal, Christmas Day, so they called it Natal. That's where that gets it. That first weird Finnish type thing.
Rovaniemi.
Which means robber near me. Be careful.
Yes, because
it's a
actually that's how
security-
language works.
it's a
If
security-
things rhyme, that's what it means. So,
It's a security company in Helsinki called Rovaniemi. Rovaniemi! And so, okay, so it might be that. But what is the second one?
Rovaniemi
Yes, you can go through all
in
them quick.
Finland, or Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's
That's
Christmas.
the only other one you haven't
Yeah,
dealt
that's
with.
Christmas. Okay, no, fine. It's Rovaniemi. Is the only one not named after. Is certainly not named after Christmas.
So you know what Rovaniemi is famous for?
Is it a special militant group for Russia that of paramilitary people who are contracted to, and they have really
It's
hectic.
famous because it's the home of Father Christmas. If you go there, it's the Father Christmas village. Yeah.
Oh, so I'm probably wrong. Oh, where as in the North Pole?
It's 6 kilometers south of the North Pole, yeah.
Oh, lovely. In
Of
which
the
country?
Arctic Circle, sorry, 6
Oh,
kilometers
is it-
south of the Arctic.
And which country owns that bit of?
Finland. Yeah.
Really? Ah, Warren
yeah,
is Finnish. He's got a Finnish linkage on his mother's side.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I do. So that's
Wow.
why I
Have you
asked
been
I
there?
said, so
Is
which
it
of these?
cold?
No, I haven't. But I do want to take my son at some point.
Wow, what's
Hopefully-
there?
Hopefully he won't. In Finland
Rovaniemi.
or Rovaniemi? Rovaniemi is the home of Santa. There's a village.
It's really.
Where the elves are, and
Oh,
Santa
no.
Claus, and you can
no.
go there. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wonderful.
And if you send letters, you can send letters there, and you'll get like an official reply from Santa.
Oh,
And
man.
yeah.
In English.
yeah, in whatever language you wrote your letter in. Yeah, whatever language you wrote your letter in.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
That's how they
It
have
is a
Google
good
Translate. They have
question.
Google Translate. No, they send it to you in Finnish. they're like yksi, kaksi, kolme. That's just 1, 2, 3.
You can't rip off your mother's
No, I just don't know
heritage.
enough Finnish to make a good joke out of it. Like, I mean, the fact that I can count to 3 in Finnish is,
Do it.
yksi, kaksi, kolme, neljä.
Oh my word,
Yeah.
that's glorious.
Anyway, but yeah. So now,
Alright,
you
so now I'm
are you
wrong.
still certain?
No, I'm definitely wrong. So okay, so that's obviously got a Christmas meaning. I'm wrong, but I've said it's Rovaniemi.
Okay, so you're going with it. You're right though.
Oh, I am.
You're
'cause
right though. Yeah, it
even
just
though
means
it's the
a
home of-
forested cape. It's named after in the
Oh.
local Sami language. It's a kind of a version of it. Yeah. So obviously, as you said, KwaZulu-Natal was originally named
Yes.
Terra Natalis
Yes.
by Vasco da Gama in 1497 after he spotted it on Christmas Day. Nolene Mahulwana no San,
Mm.
who none of us have thought about in 20 years.
Hey, well, you did some work at Urban Brew, or no, you
I
didn't.
did a little bit of work.
Yeah, so she was. I know her well because she recorded a show there every day, and I worked there for 8.5 years.
Anyway, so
we
she
corridor buddies.
so she was named after Noel. You're right.
Yes.
Bethlehem, Pennsylvania was founded by
Sure.
missionaries on
Sure.
Christmas Eve, 1741.
Nice.
Yeah. Christmas Island, Captain William Miners named it on Christmas Day, 1643. And King and I actor Yule Brynner, as you said, named after the Yule. So, yeah, the answer is
that's lovely.
Rovaniemi, despite its Christmassy kind of thing.
It's beautiful. Nice trick question. Very good. I've got some lovely little one. It's Saint Nick is the patron saint of all but one of these. Sailors, repentant thieves.
Wait, can we just take a minute? Yeah. This is the moment everyone's been waiting for, Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Like, since you let slip that this was your question right at the end, people have been on the edge of their fucking seat, and you're
You
just
have
going to
been.
drift into this
Sorry,
without being
ladies
like,
and
congratulations, here's the moment. We're just going to take an ad break. We'll be back after this.
It is a time to hear from our sponsors, Erdinger and Jürgermeister.
we don't have any sponsors, but you could like, subscribe, share the video.
Oh, what a
this
time.
Christmas, yeah.
Yes, and also subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah,
Listen,
just tell other people.
yes, and tell other people.
Yeah, we're
Comment.
not asking you for money.
likes.
Just tell people.
Yes.
Share the thing.
One day we're gonna do that thing that buy me a.
Oh yeah, buy me a
Buy me a
coffee, yeah,
coffee,
or
or Patreon.
or go watch Ryan do foot jobs on OnlyFans.
I'll do it.
Like that's the.
I'll do that. That's no
I
problem.
mean,
Foot
there's
job.
a
Do you
reason
mean?
he's wearing.
Do you mean foot massage?
He's so sweet, isn't he? He's so sweet.
Let's OnlyFans. Yes. Oh, he's just doing a foot massage. Oh.
No, it's not doing a.
I want my
massage.
money back.
No, Ryan, it's not doing a foot massage.
Okay. All right.
It's not. I mean, it is, but of a very specific part of the body,
Yes.
using your feet. Anyway.
Yes. So my multiple choice question
Right.
is about. You asked me, do I believe in Father Christmas, Santa Claus, and my answer is yes.
I think before you get into
he
this,
did
I've got one
exist.
more present for you, Ryan. Just
Oh boy, what is it
one
this
more
time?
little present.
Oh boy, I could.
For you,
Don't you
before
don't want
we-
to join me?
Before we, no,
wanna
no,
go
Ryan,
half?
please. I can't. I spent all of my money buying you presents this Christmas. In the spirit of Bono. I have,
Tonight, thank God it's me.
Yeah, thank God
instead
it's
of you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank God it's you instead of me.
Drink the Yerky.
Enjoy it, Ryan.
like
Happy
you know
Christmas.
it's
Happy Christmas.
Cheers, everyone. Merry Christmas. And here comes your multiple choice after this.
Short message. Good.
It's very nice. I find the third one goes down far smoother. So, can't feel my face. So I do believe in Santa Claus because he did exist and might still because of the afterlife.
Uh-huh.
Because he was a good person who gave a lot of gifts to children
Santa Claus.
in Turkey. Well, St. Nick, the dude that it's based on.
Santa Claus is immortal.
Yes.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. No, and not in the sense that he's gone to go and live in a cloud palace with Jesus, in the sense that he is here on earth being immortal and giving gifts to children.
Yeah, but maybe the North Pole home is a bit of a weird, transcendent place.
Maybe it's really good for your skin. You don't get a lot of Get a lot of sun there. The North Pole. You don't
Didn't
get a lot,
help
yeah.
his red nose, the
No,
alcoholic.
I mean, listen. If I lived in permanent darkness for 6 months of the year, I would drink a lot as well. Like,
So he did a lot of wonderful things. The real Saint Nick lived in
Turkey.
Turkey, yeah, a Greek city, and is a patron saint of many things, except one of the next list. Sailors, repentant thieves, virgins, brewers,
Nice. He's got a good group of people here.
and children. That's
Oh, man,
5.
Just throw children in.
Yeah,
You got to
it's
assume
true.
children. Children is the one, right? It's got to be the odd one out. Right, it's
Well,
got to be.
it's-
Hang on, because I mean, listen, all the others, sailors, roughers. I mean, let's be honest. We love ourselves a sailor, but you don't want to be hanging out in a sailor bar if what you're looking for is to not get fucked up that night. So sailors, rough,
Yeah, repentant thieves.
repentant thieves.
Not
I mean,
unrepentant ones.
yeah. I mean,
We got you, Guptas.
Virgins
Joking.
doesn't really fit in this whole list either very well.
Did you just say virgins doesn't really fit in this hole?
I wish I had, Ryan. I wish I had. But I'm not smart enough for that joke.
You're gonna cut that out? Is that
You
too
just
rough
like,
for the
no,
Christmas?
you put. But do you see how you put 3 Jägermeisters in Ryan and he becomes problematic? It's just what happens. Yeah, I'm gonna say children simply because.
Oh, fuck you, ESCOM.
You can continue the cameras and the audio is still rolling.
Oh, that's fucking funny. So the people just heard me
Happy
say,
Christmas,
fuck you,
everyone."
ESCOM. All right, so...
All right, good. So my answer,
let's
then.
light our faces with our cell phones.
Yeah, I would. All right, my answer is there's
you
got to
see
be a
me?
reason he's with the children in history. It
Yes.
would be very weird if he wasn't the patron saint of children, but I'm going to say that he isn't. I'm going to say he's not. He's not the patron saint of children.
You can switch it off, right? You can see.
Really? That's great. Well, you nearly fucking used your weird wizardry again and nearly got it
Was
right.
it virgins?
Yes, it
Nah.
was virgins. I threw
Hello.
virgins in as a bastard. So yes, Saint Nick, a wonderful man. You can read up on him on Wikipedia as I was supposed to do more of, but I can't read on Wikipedia and drive to the podcast at the same time. There's that final fact. But he was the patron saint of sailors, repentant thieves, children, brewers, a few other things, but not virgins. Virgins was the one I was looking for you to say nay.
I think it's nice that we've ended this podcast doing a podcast by candlelight.
Oh, that's nice.
It's very Christmassy.
And here's a fun fact just for folks
Just for
who...
shits and giggles.
Yeah, a little Christmas Carol fun fact. So it's a quick little fact I'll ask you. Mary's Boy Child, Boney M, huge hit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I tell you what, folks, seriously, Christmas is coming. On Christmas morning, just go to YouTube.
And jam some
and
Boney M.
Look at our podcast and play a few eps. That's nice. But also, the Boney M Christmas album, lovely. Always a winner. Also...
I feel like South Africans have it inflicted on us, though. Like it's like
Every
everywhere.
every checkers from
Yeah.
the 18th of November. And then, you know which one you don't hear a lot of, and it's glorious, is Kenny and Dolly. You know the lovely combination of Kenny and Dolly?
Yeah, tell
Kenny
me about the lovely.
Rogers
Yeah, tell me
and
about
Dolly
the, are you going
Parton.
Islands in the Stream?
Yeah, Islands in... No, but they also, because of their beautiful combo and Islands in the Stream, they did a Christmas album. Oh, it's glorious. It's beautiful. There's a song called Christmas to Remember.
Ryan, I'd rather
Bounce.
grate my nuts off with a nutmeg shredder.
You say that now. Next time you're cooking your pasta at Christmas time, you put on some Kenny and Dolly Christmas album. You'll thank me forever. It's really beautiful. Oh, but my fact is, so Mary's Boy Child was a cover version. Is this true or false? It was a cover version, and was made really super huge famous by Louis Armstrong in the 60s. Long time ago in Bethlehem. That's not Louis Armstrong's version. So the Holy Bible.
I don't think that's anybody's version,
Mary's
Ryan. It's a
Boy
horrific.
Child.
That's Bono's version, is what that is. I'm deeply offended by that accent.
Fuck now.
All right, it wasn't a cover. It's an original Boney M classic. Nobody else sang it before them.
Oh, okay. You're terribly wrong.
Shall we just
So,
leave
should
the
have
answer?
minus
We
points.
could have left the answer from
Minus
this
points.
one for the next episode.
We could have.
That would have been ultimate radio behavior. That would have been ultimate radio.
I should turn this thing off, because he said so. I'm gonna minus points from you. Can I
I'm gonna
carry on
minus
talking?
points.
It was not Louis. It was a cover version. It was a dude in the 50s, but it was made famous in the late 50s and 60s by, I think it's Harry Belafonte.
Alright.
He was the one who sang 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot punch. Daylight come and I wanna go home. I think that's Harry. I hope I'm getting these facts
Oh my
straight.
word! Anyway, now
Harry
you see why we do
Belafonte,
not have
He sang,
Jägermeisters.
long time ago in Bethlehem.
This is why we
So
don't
the-
usually do Jägermeisters. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please tell your friends.
you.
Happy Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, except the Dutch.